Welcome back to Off Guard. I'm your host, Austin Rivers, along with my guy, Pausha Haghighi. We are back. Holidays are officially over now. All right, we can get that out the way. Normal life kicks in. The gyms are packed. Everyone's on their best behavior right now. You're not seeing anybody out right now in the streets. You're not seeing, people wanting to do too much, drink or do anything. Holidays are so bearing and heavy on us all. I feel like that's where I'm at with this as we welcome everybody in. How are you doing, man?
Hey, you know what? It tested you right away this year because New Year's Eve was on a Wednesday. Thursday, You woke up and you were like, all right, January 1st, let's get it. But then immediately it was Friday, Saturday, right in your face. So people were tested immediately. And if you got through that, let's see what happens. But yeah, you're right. Everyone's locked in. It's time for our specific reasons. Football is just the playoffs are about to start, and then that's over with. Basketball is going to take off right after that. You get All-Star Weekend and everything.
Are you a football guy?
No, but I watch the playoffs for any sport, right? I think you do the same. Like next week is the first round, like the wild card for football. That's a fun week.
Yeah.
You're not going to watch.
I'm not really into football.
Let me ask you a question. Would you rather watch like Eagles? I don't even know. Let's say Eagles 49ers. Or would you rather watch Wizards Kings basketball?
Wizards Kings.
And that's why you're who you are.
But I understand, I understand the intrigue. You know what I mean? I understand the intrigue of football. It's just not. I don't know.
I think you had to battle with them a couple of years ago. I feel like you don't want to go down that road again. Let's just leave them alone.
I don't. Yeah.
We want to fight with
that. Now, I have a lot of respect for the sport. I'm just not really into it, but whatever. I'm a basketball guy. I'm true and true. If anything, I might watch some tennis. I like tennis, as you know. Other than that, I'm pretty strictly basketball. But
the thing about tennis, I'm a little salty about. That's my favorite sport other than basketball. You've gone to a couple of tournaments, some different things here and there, some major events. You gotta bring me. I know you like to bring the misses to those things.
I thought you've been to all those. I thought you've been to all those.
Absolutely not. But I know that you like to walk around with a little arm candy. Maybe next time sacrifice that for your Middle Eastern buddy that likes tennis a lot.
For Pausha. Long story short.
Yeah.
What's shaking in the basketball world?
Listen, you're in Philly right now. You're covering the Sixers-Nuggets game tonight. It's actually convenient because I wanted to talk to you about Philly. They've won 3 in a row. They're 4th in the East, and I'm thinking, if you're Philly right now, you've got to be feeling pretty good. I mean, like, the drama is a little bit behind you. Like, Maxey's so good that it doesn't really matter when Joel plays or how he plays kind of thing. Like, doesn't really matter what you get out of Paul George because VJ Edgecombe's good. Like, and you're looking at the top of the East. The Knicks have just lost 3 in a row. The Pistons are young. We don't know what they are, right? And you're thinking, like, we could beat anyone. The Celtics are ahead of them right now, but I don't know what to make out of that. So, like, the Sixers, they could beat anybody in the East.
Yeah. I like what I'm seeing from Philly. With the East being wide open and even the top, like you said, being, like, not so dominant, right? It's not the West Coast, which is a complete gauntlet. But when you look at the top of the East, you got New York, who obviously they've lost a few games in a row. This is a team that's shown vulnerability in plenty of areas. And then you look at a team like Cleveland, which obviously is having just a strange season after last year. They're still a very, very good team. They're well coached. It's just been a weird year for them. And they're not really putting together the greatest brand of basketball consistently. Now, to their defense, they've been injured like 80, 90% of the season. But now that they've had guys back, it still doesn't look quite right yet. But that might take some time just because of guys getting, their rhythm and injuries and all these other things that have kind of plagued them this year. Regardless, it is what it is. They're at where they're at. So you look at those two teams, you're like, okay, well, they're beatable. And then the other team is Boston, who's still without Tatum. Yes, Brown's been super. Yes, some of these guys are having some big time years, but like eventually, especially in a playoff series, 7-game series, that like magic tends to run out. And then like they're going to settle into being a good team, but for them to be contending, winning a championship, they need Tatum, period. So the East is essentially wide open for a team to kind of go on a run and have at it. We've seen this in recent years. This is the same thing as last year. Now, the difference is Cleveland and Boston were very, very dominant, but again, in the playoffs, shown to be vulnerable. And once they showed that, Pacers ended up going. It's very wide open for that this year more than ever. Those two teams that were already kind of vulnerable last year in ways to where a team could maybe sneak in and did in Indiana, those two very teams this year are half the teams they were last year. So now the East is completely wide open. And you look at teams like Orlando, you look at teams like Atlanta, you look at teams like, Miami and whoever else has been able to just be somewhat competitive this year. Philly is a team that really kind of catches your eye due to their roster and star power. You start to think about, okay, well, Paul George is now actually healthy. He doesn't have the toll and pressure on him to go be the guy or a star anymore. Those days are kind of done. He's not even chasing all-star games anymore. So at this point, he gets to settle into this nice role and be like an option 3 because of Maxey's resurgence, because of their overall depth chart, and because most importantly, BJ Edgecombe as a rookie providing that like 16 to 20 point per game scoring every single night. So it's alleviated all of that for Paul to just settle in and be a good option. He doesn't even have to be an option 2. VJ can be an option 2 some nights, and then he could be another guy. So it can kind of go back and forth that way. And the key for Philly and this thing to work, and this is most important what I want to say, is Joel, can you buy into being consistently option number 2 without drama? Can you do it, big fella? You've been option 1 for a long time. That you had a very successful run here. You're an MVP, man. You were an MVP in the city of Philadelphia. The last guy to do that was a guy named Allen Iverson. You're going to be iconic in the city forever, despite whatever anybody tries to take away from Joel. You won an MVP in an era where Nikola Jokic had a chokehold on the NBA. Got to give him his respect. You've had a great run. You were the guy who started to trust the process. That process has been going for a long, long time now. That process is kind of over. Now, you're still very good. So I don't need 30 and 15 from you, big fella. I don't need you to be an MVP. Nor do I think you're capable because of how many games you miss and because of where he's at in his career anyway. He's done it for so long. He's a veteran, and his body. I still need you to be very, very good. And I need you to give us.
What stat line are you?
I need 20 and 10. I need 20 and 10.
But that's not for a guy like that. He can get in his sleep going up and down the court. That's
all. But sometimes less is. That's all I need from you. I don't need you to be superstar. We have one. Now it's Maxey's turn. Maxey was an all-star and supported you. He actually took 2 back seats. He took one to the first time, and then he took one to James when James came, and he's always been there. It's his time now. He's one of the best players in the NBA. He's going to be a lock pretty soon for first team All-NBA if he keeps this up. Okay? This guy is a superstar. Tyrese Maxey, period. This is going to be our option A, all right? It has to be this way. Nick Nurse has to make this fluent. This has to be direct to Joel. I still need you to be a star, though, Joel. And we still need you to be a max player. We're going to pay you like one, but we need you to be this guy. And it's not, you're still one option. You're just 1B. All right? Because it's his time now. After that, it could be VJ or PG, either or, depending on the night. No pressure, guys. We just want you guys to go out there, compete, and help, and give us something. Whatever you can give us, you can give us. It alleviates pressure from Paul. It alleviates pressure from a kid who's still learning how to play in the NBA. VJ is a rookie. They both just to come in and just hoop. The pressure's on the 2 guys. But Joel, we don't need all that from you. So that pressure of the games and the knees and the back-to-backs and the Joel saga doesn't have to be as dramatic. Your option B, because we have our option A, and he plays damn near every night. All right? And he's young, and he can take all the pressures of playing every night on his body with his age right now. Maxey, that's how Philly does this, and you have all those role players they have with like Oubre and Grimes and this dude, and they're a solid ass team. On paper, they're better than anybody in the East. So it's like that's
right. And you think about it, like their biggest argument would be you have an All NBA guy as your best guy, go up against any team in the East. Your second option would be Joel Embiid. It would be, if he's healthy and he's good, better than any other team's second option, right? And in the playoffs, there aren't any back-to-back, so he's playing, right? Hopefully. So I just don't see a team where they'd be like afraid to go against, or they'd be like, you know what I mean? I think they could beat anybody. And like you said, Maxey being the main guy has now, it's not so much pressure like we need Joel to be this MVP for us to win. It's kind of like, it's a long season. As long as we have you in May, we're good. Build you along. You're like you said, 20 and 10, 18 and 10, something like that. and Maxey just plays at this level, it's way less pressure on everyone. Did you see Paul George's dunk the other night?
Yeah.
Bouncy. Didn't know he still had that too.
A little pep in his step.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You're not
It's
asked to
good.
do
It's
so
good to
much
see. It's good
anymore.
to see. It's good to see, man. It's good to see Paul George healthy, playing the game. And where he's at in his career, he's already, he's a perennial all-star. He's had great runs on teams. He now can just enjoy hooping. Just go play. You don't have to worry about all that pressure. Remember last year he took down the podcast because it was affecting it. But you don't have to do none of that no more. You could go have a podcast, go play. All right. Then when Philly wins or loses, it's not going to be because of you.
Right.
All right. But as a key player of the team, you could have a great game and they'll sing your praises like you are the reason they won. But the beauty of not being the best player of the team is when you lose, it's not your fault. But if you're a role player, when you play well, it is you get all the praise. You get all the praise without any blame for the most part when you get to be that third, fourth, fifth option. So you're not the go-to guy. Now, it'd be one thing if you were just terrible for a whole playoff series, then yes, Philly's going to rip you apart. But that's not going to happen with a player like him, especially if he's healthy. So he's in a good spot. Philly's in a good spot. The East is wide open. People in Philly need to be very optimistic and understand that the ending of the season could be very special if the timing plays out where this team's fully healthy and kind of rolling and on the same page.
The one season where they don't have the expectation, I feel like the last 5 or 6 years, they're like, we have, these really good teams and they have a lot of expectation. I feel like this was the year everyone was like, and now they have, maybe this might be their best chance. It says here right now, they're 9-7 with Joel and 10-7 without him. That means they're pretty much the same. So that's less pressure for him to come back.
Absolutely. You don't have to, he doesn't have to play back-to-backs. He doesn't have to do anything that's too, egregious for his body to handle or tough for his body to handle. But a big, I think, factor in this, if you want me to be honest, is Embiid understanding he's option B. And that's not a diss. Option B for a contending team is a big deal. That means you're still a star player in this league, which you still are, Joel. But for this team to excel from a chemistry standpoint, from an understanding standpoint, from a leadership standpoint, from an assurgence from a young man who is doing that right now, for Maxey, for the ceiling just to continue to be open and him just continue to go up, you have to embrace that and be great at it, of being option B. And that doesn't mean some nights, bro, when you're cooking the playoffs, they're going to finish games to Joel because you're Joel Embiid. When you have 40 in a playoff game and it's the last shot, you'll take that shot because you've dominated. But on other nights where this young man's got it going, a lot of nights where this young man's got it going, and you got it going, it's got to be there's a Batman and Robin thing here.
It could be very Miami Heat, Shaq and Wade, where it's like Shaq, but he's not that level. Shaq. Wade's exactly. The young guy.
100%.
You like that?
Shaq knew that. It was a great metaphor, great example. And Shaq knew that at that point. And that's why when they're in the finals after, he's like, bro, we don't win. Dwayne Wade carried us. He's like, but they still needed Shaq to be Shaq. Joel Embiid, I still need you to be 20 and 10, dog. I need you to be good. I need you to be great. I don't need you, though, to be superstar, top 5 in the league. I don't need that. We actually got one, Joel, and he's young, and he's doing it every night. And where you're at in your career, it's not happening here. Not for us to win. It has to happen. So, it's one of those things where, getting to know where Maxey's at in his career, understanding that this is his moment, him understanding, for people listening, I had an episode recently on Eye for the Game that I just did on my other show with NBC and Peacock. And it strictly is obviously just breakdown film of Maxey and his build to where he's at now, past stardom. He's now in that superstar conversation where, you look around and you talk about top 10 players in the league. Maxey's name's a guy that now is starting to be featured on that list quite frequently and consistently. So it was amazing just to get to see him and feel his presence of watching him break down his own film, understanding, where he needs to be out in the floor, how he's had a success in his league, why it's so hard for him to guard people, for people to guard him right now, watching his own highlights and him even cringing and being like, oh man, I don't know why I played it's so fun to just watch players see the different phases of their career. But Maxey was great on that. Check that out. And from that, you just got to see, okay, this guy really is a superstar. Just the way he moves, the way he's able to see the game, the way he plays the game. Sometimes when you have to sit down and watch someone for 45 minutes, you can really understand what type of player they are. He's up there. Philly has a chance this year. They got a chance.
This is a good time for me to bring up what our producer sent us this morning. Big Philly guy, by the way, Gene. He said Tyrese Maxey. feel like he's a blend between Damian Lillard and John Wall. John Wall's slashing ability, Dame's playmaking from the perimeter.
Yeah, I
Shooting.
would say he's a blend of both, but he's not the best of both. So it's like he's not exactly John Wall fast. He's very fast. Tyrese Maxey is a very fast player. He's not John Wall, but he's fast. So you take maybe a John Wall-esque, and then you mix it with if John Wall could shoot like Damian Lillard. Now, can Maxey shoot just like prime Damian Lillard? No, but he can shoot the shit out of the ball, and he's a threat and he's lethal. Is he Damian Lillard level? I'm not saying that because he's not, but the fact that he's a version of that lower and then a version also of John Wall's, you combine that together, you get this special talent that we see. Obviously, if you took actually John Wall and actual Damian Lillard and combined, probably the greatest offensive point guard ever. But he is a variant of either of those kind of combined. Yes, that's a fair assessment.
So I compared it to where would he stack against when we're talking Jamal Murray, bubble Jamal Murray, prime Jamal Murray. I was obviously talking about his pick and roll ability, but you made a good point. You said he was doing it with Jokic, who's one of the best player in the world. So
and it's nothing to take away from Jamal. Jamal's a special talent. He's been an all-star caliber player for a long time. Just being in the West, it's very hard to be an MVP when for so long that spot was kind of taken. Steph, James, done. And then even Devin Booker had to fight to get his few all-stars. Hell, people don't even know the few all-stars that Devin has. Some of those came because other guys got hurt. He didn't even get voted in that year. Devin, if everyone was healthy for these past years, Devin would be like a 2-time All-Star guys. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I think it says he's like a 4-time or 5-time. He'd be like a 2-time All-Star. That's how crazy, just to give reference of how packed guard-wise it was for the West. So I don't want to diminish Jamal Murray by any means, but Jamal Murray compared to this Tyrese Maxey, and by the way, we could just go prime Jamal. You don't have to say bubble Jamal. Jamal right now is averaging his best.
Jamal actually having one of his best seasons. Yeah,
he's having a career year, big jump. He's averaging 25 this year. That's a big jump. Maxey, again, we'll get to see tonight, so that'll be a good thing to watch out for in tonight's game. But Tyrese is just so much more athletic in terms of the standpoint of speed with the ball. He's just so fast. He's very hard to keep in front. Jamal's shifty and crafty. Tyrese sometimes is coming at you full speed at 15 miles per hour, 16 miles per hour with the basketball in his hand. You're just like, whoa. You know what I mean? It's just different.
It's cool to see Philly fans, too, who had bad luck, I guess, drafting number 1 pick with Markelle Fultz or Ben Simmons, who was good until it wasn't. And then getting a guy like this, an all-NBA guy in the 20s, he was like the 20-something pick. That's kind of cool how it ended up working out, at least for them. They got some, after some bad luck, you get some good luck there, too.
You know what it shows you, though, is to not always just highlight the top. Every draft pick matters. Every draft pick matters, man. You could have the 6th pick in the draft and the 20th pick in the draft. There's no telling that the 20th pick might end up being the star on your team. The 6th player might not be, a star.
Of course.
That happens every year. Obviously, I was a top 10 pick in the draft. I was never an all-star. So every pick matters. And yeah, like you said, there's a little bit of luck thrown back their way. The Fultz, obviously, saga didn't end as well as people wanted, and even the way Ben Simmons stuff, the rise from stardom to where now he's obviously not playing anymore. That's a crazy just drop. So Philly's been through it. The injuries to Paul George, the injuries to Joel Embiid, his whole career. Hell, he didn't even play his whole rookie year. There's been so much that's gone on here. Maxey is a light at the tunnel, and so is VJ Edgecombe. Both, yeah.
Yeah. You mentioned the Celtics. Jaylen Brown, and it started when he didn't make the USA team. He's very vocal about his opinion if he's snubbed. He's not one of those guys
streaming, man.
Yeah, he's not one of those guys that takes it quietly. He doesn't get player of the month. He's like, nah, this is wrong. You know what I mean? He's very vocal about it. All-star votes, whatever it is. He had a 50 ball the other day. How are you viewing this season? Is this okay, he's always been this guy? That he could have been this guy if Tatum's out, he could always be a one guy? Or are you looking at it very similar to someone mentioned it to when Jordan was out, Pippen had an MVP type of season. Are you looking at it like that? Or are you looking at it Jaylen Brown's always been this guy? You know what I
mean? No, I think he's always been very, very good. But with more opportunity comes, more of a chance to kind of just expand your game, inflame your numbers, and just kind of take another step. There's an opportunity to do that. Now, are they as good as a team? No. That has nothing to do with Jaylen. Quite frankly, they're only competitive because of him. But it has allowed him to become a superstar player. Yes. The player that everybody always was putting with Tatum, like JB, Tatum, who's better than, even me? It's not close. Tatum's much, much better. You now see Jaylen's full game and range and see, okay, well, actually, that it is a lot closer than people think it is. You could actually go yin and yang. I don't know if there is a 1A, 1B anymore. We just talked about 1A, 1B with Philly. Going further, there's not a 1A, 1B situation here. It's not a Kyrie Braun, this is more of a Dwayne Wade Braun first year, where like LeBron's a better player, but Dwayne Wade, it could be he has the soul of the team. And like there's games where he has to close. Like it's him and Brown are gonna have to have that relationship coming back because Brown has leveled to this. Not that it wasn't already like that. He won Finals MVP and Conference Finals MVP the year they won. So quite frankly, it's always been like this. But yeah, with more opportunity, he's crushing. I mean, Jaylen Brown I didn't realize he could. He's shooting the ball off the dribble. Shot making ability has been remarkable. I mean,
people aren't really making fun of that whole left hand thing. Remember when he was, he can't dribble with his left hand, this and that. I feel like
that's long gone. That's dead. Yeah, he goes to left all the time now, and I don't think anybody cares what way he goes if he's scoring as many points as he is. So pause. So it's one of those things where like he's just continue to level up his game. And he has to say to, listen, he is talking the streaming stuff. He says I'm the best two-way player in the world.
I'm trying to think of another guy right now.
Two-way?
Yeah, like, I thought of Shea. He's not the defender, like, he just does so much on offense. It's hard to think about him, like, defensively. It's not like he's a liability defensively. Shea's a two-way player.
Yeah, I don't have him as a liability, but I would put Jaylen ahead of him if we're talking defense.
You're right. So I'm trying to think of a player that would be a better two-way player.
I mean, it was Kawhi for the longest time, and then obviously previous years, Kawhi's more heavily on offense now with his body and just everything that's going on. But Jaylen Brown definitely has the right to be able to say that and hold that crown. I mean, I'm sure there's other names we're not thinking of right now that you can maybe throw in the mix, but Jaylen Brown for sure is the guy. And if we're talking first team, how we do with Maxey, Jaylen Brown's also probably going to be first team All-NBA this year, especially if Boston finishes out strong. So he's leveled up, man. He's had a big year. He has every right to talk that
psychologically, do you think it's better? Like, how would you take it? If you were Jaylen Brown and you felt disrespected, would you be vocal like he is? Does that make people think about him more? Maybe he'll get the votes next time? Or do you feel like it pushes people further away? Like, how would you handle those situations if you were snubbed?
Man, the art of being likable is something that you can't even like dissect or force. It's just natural. They do it with celebrities all the time, but they do it in a different way. They push them in their face so much where you have to like them. It's like you can't get on your Instagram without seeing Chalamet. You know what I mean? Like you can't get on your Instagram without seeing some of these dudes that
have you
whether
seen
you like them. I have not. I will watch it though. It's a 3-hour movie about ping pong.
It's good. It's good. You like it.
I've heard it's fantastic,
yeah,
and I also think Timothy's a really talented actor. So I have full interest in watching that movie at some point. 3 hours in a theater, I just can't do it, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. But anyways, these people can be pushed. And again, his gravity is what it is because he's a great actor. But you know what I'm saying. Whether it's singers, Sabrina Carpenter, or this person or that person, like you just get on your Instagram and they're boom. Like it's just like they can do that. There's a manipulation to the backside of Instagram, whether it's clip farming, all these different things. People know how to stay relevant. Streamers do it all the time. To be likable is different. I don't know. I think Jaylen Brown's now at the point where him being the smart guy, remember that's the niche he had. He was the super smart, intelligent basketball player, does all this stuff off the court with tech and et cetera. Didn't get the All-Stars he wanted ever. He didn't get in the USA. He always feels disrespected of all these different things, all right? I think now that phase is past where obviously he still is who he is. But in terms of him now talking, I think he's like, I don't give a shit anymore because you didn't like me when I was quiet either. I didn't get anything when I was quiet before, so now I don't give a damn. So it's like, don't tell me that don't saying anything works because I did that and it didn't work. I didn't get on USA and I wasn't getting always first team NBAs or all this other stuff that I wanted. So at this point, I'm just going to talk my talk. And he's earned it. He's a finals MVP. He's an NBA champion. He's an Eastern Conference MVP. He is an perennial all-star. And he is going to be a first-team All-NBA guy this year and one of the best, or an All-NBA guy regardless. And he's one of the best players in the NBA. So it's like, he can talk that shit now. And I think he's at the
You know,
point
but
now
it's
he's
like
comfortable
he's
with it.
not. If you're him and you're like, okay, Finals MVP, champion, I'm putting up crazy numbers. I've been really good on one of the most historic teams in NBA history. All of these things, but when you talk about guys in that position, you talk about Anthony Edwards, Shea. Pretty much, he is so pushed back on that. Like no one, you know what I mean? Like I don't know. Who do you think about more? Like people talk about Donovan Mitchell more or Jaylen Brown. Like he isn't getting the respect of all the things. If you line it all up, he should be getting a ton of more like just publicity overall. I feel like maybe I'm missing
Yeah,
something.
I agree.
He even tried to do the
I
dunk contest. Remember we said no stars do the dunk contest? Like he went out there and did that, and it didn't work out for him. But he tried. No one else, no other stars are trying.
I think he's overly slept on. I think a lot of it's just due to the shadow that Tatum has brought and the success of their team. Like you said, the depth of their team. I think a lot of his talents and his overall just skill level gets, I don't want to say hidden because he shows it to the world every game. Just overlooked. He is a top tier player, and it's time to start kind of putting Jaylen Brown and superstar in the same sentence. He's having a superstar season. There's no other way to put it. I just watched him play the other night at 50 versus the Clippers. He's absolutely torching, baking, Big Ziti. Anybody who was guarding him got cooked. It was unbelievable. He didn't. It looked like it looked like, especially with the way Clippers are playing, that game looked like when a player's so far better than everybody else. Like you just it looked like AJ DeBancha at BYU. Like you'll watch a college game of his, and you'll just be like, this guy doesn't need to be playing here. Some of these guys in college are just like, yo, okay, we got to skip this college because listen, we got guys now getting drafted coming back to play in college, which is complete bullshit. I don't like it. I listen, if you can do it, do it. So I'm not against the coaches or programs doing it, and I'm not
Yeah,
against players doing it, going back and getting a better chance to get drafted, redrafted higher. It just, oh
I'm confused
man,
by that. Does the team that drafted him still have his rights? I don't think they can go back.
brother, I don't understand any of it, and it's just such a. I like the old rule of if you declare, you're gone.
Yeah,
If you declare for the draft, college is immediately over forever. You can't come back. This shit is weird. At this point, you don't even know what you're watching in college anymore, man. I watched De'Aaron Peterson play versus UCF the other day. This guy, talented player. This kid's going to be a number 1, 2, 3 pick in the draft, right? Depending on who gets the pick. This guy has like 25 in the first half of a college game. He was on pace for 50. He was torching them. By far the best player.
on the road, on the road.
On the road. Decides something sore or something was irritating, whatever, it's part of basketball. I'm not going to play. Second half. Sits there in a seat that's like 4 feet away from the bench, which looked really weird, and just had a little Theragun. There's like massaging his leg. He just sat there and watched the rest of the game. Completely able to play. Now, could there have been discomfort depending on the injury he's dealing with? But the severity couldn't have been that high. I just watched him play. You see, with NIL and with money, it's allowed agents, managers. Now teams have general managers. College has become a full-blown business. All right, it's like a junior NBA now. Each team has a GM. Each team has its coach. The players, hell, these top guys make more than what the coach is making sometimes. And the coach, because of how the transfer portal works, anybody can just go anywhere. There's no power in a coach anymore. They've stripped it, or they've attempted to. You see, if I would have had 25 in the first half playing for Duke, Coach K would have been, and I tried to be like, my leg's sore, I'm not playing the second half, I'm done. Coach K would have grabbed me and be like, okay, you can be out the rest of the game, but you're going to be out the next 5 after that too. Since it's so severe, we're just going to shut you down until your leg's completely, you're not playing.
Right.
It's that simple. He might have been like, yo, you might are out for the year. I don't want you. Listen, we don't do that. Think about it. Kyrie had a season-ending injury. They rushed his ass back, and his first game back was the goddamn NCAA tournament. He played through the rest of the way through. As soon as he could play, he played. And he was already going number 1 in the draft. And he still came back and played because that's what you did then. You bro, if you're hurt, you play through the injury until you can't anymore, or until it could cause further destruction, or it could get further hurt. So that's when you pull out, you get rest, and you rehab and do whatever you got to do. If you can play or play through pain, you play.
And I saw it all over my Twitter algorithm that day too, because I went to UCF, so I see a lot of that stuff. That's who he was playing against. It was a very Kawhi Leonard-ish like reaction of like Kansas fans were like, he's just using us to get to the NBA. He doesn't care about winning it because they lost, right? Like, and then he doesn't play that much in the second half, and people were feeling it. And then one guy tweeted that covers college basketball, this might be the best guard prospect I've seen. The mixed bag with him right now is so different.
Well, you can't
compared to AJ DeBanza, who's like putting on for BYU, like you mentioned that before.
Yes. For instance, yeah, and it doesn't even matter that BYU wins it or not. He's brought in recruitment. He's brought in millions of dollars. He plays damn near every game, and he's out there hooping. And you could see the energy of just BYU, how much fun they're having over there. Where this guy's like in and out, plays one game, doesn't play. When he does, there's no emotion. He's very good. It's very Kawhi-esque. Now, this kid's young and Kawhi's old, but that I don't know. It does feel like, hey, KU's just a place I got to be just to get to here. It's nothing more. I don't really have anything else. KU's not really getting anything from Peterson. For having a guy that's about to go number 1 in the draft or 2 in the draft, you usually get like the residual effects of bringing someone like that in. It seems like this is a transaction. Like, hey, I'm here. I'm going to the league. KU is a place I just stopped by. Whereas someone and Duns are able to still have that, like, hey, I'm only here for a year, but I'm bringing it. This is going to be a hell of a year. And the residuals of it will be there, whether it's recruiting. You can see just how bought in AJ is with his teammate dunks on someone, or if someone hits a three, AJ's over there dancing, like the crowd's crazy. It's just there's a energy forming there. Now, what they do is what they do. I don't know if they win it all, don't win it all, doesn't matter. It was a successful year. This feels like cold and just transactional.
No, it's not too late. If he comes back and in the tournament they go on a run and he hoops, like, good job.
Wait. I'm talking about the aesthetic of him and KU. I'm not talking about Peterson as a player. I can't knock his play. Now, he's hurt too much and there's some injury concern there, but like when he plays, he dominates. He's clearly too good for college. He's clearly a top tier pick. All right. So like, I don't have anything against him as a young man. I don't know him. And I don't have anything against him as a player. Everything I've seen, he's very, very good at basketball. I watched that UCF game the other day. I was like, yo, this dude is unbelievable. Did
you buy him as a legit 3-point threat?
Well, he shot the ball the other day. Yeah. He's flinging that corner three. Barely
he doesn't really hold his follow through. He kind of
flicks it. That corner one, that corner three he had, he like flicked it. He kind of like,
he does not keep his hand up. Yeah.
I just think he's a scorer. And I think with him, an opportunity, a guy like that, a talent like him who has the knack to score the ball like he does, he's just going to get better and better and better. So I think he's a big-time player. But this season for KU hasn't been a success. Now, it has been for him individually because he's been able to show proof how talented he is. So going to the NBA, it's a great thing. In terms of it being a success for the university and like him and a big year at Kansas, even though he's only there for a year, you don't feel that. Melo was only at Syracuse for 1 year. I felt like he was there for 7 because that's how much work he put into that year. Do you understand what I'm saying? AJ's only going to be at BYU for 1 year, but they're going to talk about this 1 year at BYU for decades.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like a lot can be done. Just because you're a one and done and it's a transactional thing doesn't mean it has to feel that way. And that's how it feels. And a lot of that has to do with the injury. And a lot of that has to do with the power of a coach not having. All right? When you have agents and managers and this and parents are very involved these days, because mind you, if Bill Self or whoever was like, get out there and play, and he played, they could be like, hey, we're done for the season, or we're transferring. They have that power now. And they don't have to sit out a year. And they don't have to do the thing. Now, obviously, Darren Peterson would never transfer. He's a one-and-done player. But other players, the power structure from college has been stripped. Now, it is what it is. But, yeah, it's just tough to see sometimes. It's so weird.
Like last year.
Like, I love Mikael Brown. Mikael Brown, big fan of him. Obviously, he's a young man from my program. He's going to be a lottery pick. I believe he's a top 5 talent. I don't know where he goes in the draft, but I think he's that good. He's not playing tonight versus Duke. And it's just like, it's like, man, it's like some of this stuff, like, bro, if I'm at Duke and we playing Carolina, I'm playing. Yeah. There's no doubt about it. I don't care if I got a sword. I'm playing in that game. I'll hobble out there and play to show the NBA I'm tough. Everything is just so calculated now. Everybody has to watch out for everybody, because there's agents now. Now it's a brand. Once you become a brand, now there's money involved. Now we have to hey, Mikal, you can't play tonight. Dear Peterson, he's done for the second half. Well, he's done because it's a transaction to the NBA.
Right.
Because that's what happens when money gets involved. When there's no money, you have to play.
Consensus #1 pick. Everyone knew it. He didn't even have to do anything last year. He could have sat out. We've been the #1 pick. He didn't just play for Duke last year.
That's the difference, though. Okay.
Yeah.
So I want you to think about De'Aaron Peterson. I want you to think about Mikal Brown. I want you to think about some of these guys, and then you think of Cooper Flagg, right? So there's ways to do this. You could be all in for 1 year and still, everyone knows you're only there for 1 year, but you could be all in. I'm saying because money's involved, it's not going to be as consistent. And you're going to have some guys that do it the right way, and AJ. And you're going to have some guys, not that Mikal's doing it the wrong way. He's hurt. He has back spasms and other things. Peterson has some problems. I get it. They're hurt. But that age of having to just play through and the coach having final say, that shit's done. Because now you got agents and managers and everybody else involved that now you are an asset. We can't risk an asset now. Before, you're not an asset. You had to go out there and play hurt to prove that you can play through toughness so you could be drafted even higher. Like, everything was thought that way. Bro, when I wasn't making money at Duke, I had to play every game. I could never miss out on a Carolina game. But if I made I would have made $7-8 million to go to Duke. You're telling me if I got paid $7-8 million to go to Duke and I'm going to be a projected top 5 pick and I got a calf strain, I ain't playing.
Yeah.
Now, if you're a freshman living in a dorm room and you got Duke points on your card and you're not getting paid $1 yet, and the only way you get paid is if you hoop this whole college season and beat lottery, then you're going to be out there hooping, aren't you? Exactly. So this is what money does to athletes. This is what money does to people.
So you're saying the rise of NIL, you're just going to expect this more and more going forward?
Yes. So I have no problem with NIL. You got to get with it. Listen, if you don't get with the sport, the evolution of it, you get lost. So it doesn't even matter whether I agree with it or don't. We can go on that on a different – I can go on an hour rant about that. I'm with it. I'm just saying it comes at a cost. With money and NIL being now involved in college sports and high school, these are no longer athletes who are grinding to make dreams come true. They're now assets. Because you have managers and agents and family making money now, not just for the kid, but for them damn selves too. All right? It's a job. It's a corporation. It's brands now. College teams have GMs now. It's crazy. So because money's involved, these kids are assets. So once you're an asset, it's a little different now. Now you got a little more power. Now you tell the coach, he's playing today. He's not playing today. Or you tell the coach, he's going to be late to practice. He's got a Gatorade commercial. This shit is nuts now. When I was in college, you had to play to eat your supper. All right, it's just the way it worked. If I told Coach K, my calves bother me tomorrow, I'm not going to play tomorrow. I'm out. He'd be like, no, you're not. You're playing. And if you are out, then you can go to your dorm, pack your shit, and say goodbye. We won't win as many games and we won't go that far in the season because of you, but I'm okay. I don't really give a I got one more coming after you. We don't do it that way here. That's how it was there. That day is gone. It's gone. So you got to hope you get a Cooper Flagg. Cooper just wants to compete every game. They're lucky. You get a Cooper. AJ, a baller. AJ, we were wrong about him in the beginning. AJ talks all that. AJ hoops every game, Pausha.
I admitted last pod I was wrong. I thought he was just like a. And
he's into the game. He's into the game when he's not in the game. He cheers his teammates on. He has handshakes with all of them. He's been great for BYU.
I think if the draft was tomorrow, obviously it depends on the team. I think he probably goes #1, right?
Yes.
It feels like it.
If you're talking about college kids, forget the draft, but if you're talking about college one and done guys who have come in and had an impact on culture, it's AJ and Cam Boozer. It's two dudes who are just doing it right. They both are doing it right. All right? And they're head and shoulders above some of these other guys. And I like Caleb Williams too at UNC. He's been fantastic.
Or Caleb Wilson, yeah, he's good. I want to get to two players that are having like a kind of a revenge type of season. Both
Michael
traded in the offseason. What's up?
Michael Porter Jr. MPJ.
I mean, he got his revenge on the Nuggets. Sure, they didn't have Jokic. And I wanted to talk about Dillon Brooks, who got traded as an afterthought. They're bringing in KD. Kind of get out of there. You're good.
Yeah. Well, let's just get Michael out the way.
He's been counted out a few times in his career. And then him and Dillon Brooks trade buckets against the Thunder and beat the best team in the NBA. Both players, I think you're surprised by both. You didn't think either player had this kind of offensive ability. Which one are you more surprised by, or should we just call it a tie? Let's talk about both.
I'm more surprised by Dillon. Michael Porter Jr. was the number one player in high school, guys. Michael Porter Jr. also had a transactional year at Missouri, very similar to what we're seeing with De'Aaron Peterson.
Yeah.
Played one game, have 20, one play the second half. It wasn't pretty.
Yeah, but I didn't like that. He had back issues, and I don't play with the back. Back issues are different.
Fell back a little bit in the draft. Still was a lottery pick. And he's always maintained a high level of confidence to the point where people are like, is he delusional? Or like, it's just stayed that way. And his play's only gotten better and better and better. And then he was a key piece of a championship team. So we know he's always been like, now, I didn't know he's a 25-point per game scorer, but he's always been an elite player in the NBA offensively. That's what he's been known for. We damn sure don't talk about him for his defense. He's a marksman and can score. And there's not a shot he don't like. So with opportunity attached to that in Brooklyn, you can't be blown away, surprised. Because Michael's always been very good. See, people are paying Michael respect like, man, I didn't know you're that good. I'm paying him respect by saying, you always knew you're good. You're better than even what I thought. He's now turned to an all-star caliber player, and he's proven that he could be that on a team. As for Dillon, I didn't know his offense was this, I don't want to say potent because I don't want to put him in a class of like whatever, but I didn't know he could consistently score in the ways that he does and how he does it.
Also, think about this in the last 5 years for Devin Booker. His sidekicks have been Chris Paul. They go to the finals. Then he has Kevin Durant as his sidekick. Bradley Beal's there. It seems like Hill and Dillon Brooks are like their most effective duo that they've had over there.
Well, of course, Paul.
One guy is like even keel, smooth, quiet, goes about his work, very tactful, like you always say, whatever.
Yeah, he's very tactful.
And then Dillon Brooks is out there. It's just like good cop, bad cop. Dillon Brooks is out there trying to fight everybody, doing it in a loud way.
Yeah, I didn't
think these two were going to be such a good duo. It's really impressive.
Yeah. I don't know why that is, but obviously Chris and Devin were fantastic. They went to the finals, but this duo, I think people thought like, oh man, look at Phoenix's team. It's about to be a total rebuild. They have some assets they can move around, you know what I mean, and try to build around now Devin, who's always been a part of the centerpiece. But now you add Dillon as a possible guy you could build around or trade because his trade value is extremely high. They're now putting him in conversations to be traded with Austin Reeves. Austin Reeves kind of had that breakout year last year, earlier this year. Now Dillon Brooks is up this value that people are like, Lakers need Brooks. And you want to know the irony of it? Because, obviously him and Braun and all that shit's funny. But it's Dillon Brooks has had one of the biggest arc turnarounds I've seen in recent NBA history. I'm not kidding. This guy has only portrayed himself, and I say himself, I don't even like to say that because he is who he is. I don't even think he wants to be a villain. It's just what happened. He approaches the game is a better way to say it. A certain way, and he plays with a chip. He competes. He talks trash. He gets into it. All these different things. So much so that he's a part of building the culture in Memphis, that grind team that everybody loved with young Pop and Ja and Dillon and Jared Jackson, Triple J. They had the whole thing going on. He was the soul of that team. They get into the playoffs with LeBron. That whole thing starts. The arc of him and LeBron, that whole thing, right? This is where it's peaking, it's going, and this is where it goes bad. Lakers win that series. LeBron dominates. Blame goes to Dillon. Front office of Memphis completely over Dillon Brooks and comes out with an unnecessary statement saying, we by no means are bringing back Dillon Brooks for next season. Why you would have to say that, I don't know. You should just trade him if you didn't want to. You announcing it only is going to lower his trade value.
He was a free agent.
It embarrasses him.
You could have just not done anything.
You could have just not done anything. He was a free agent. You didn't have to sign him. Yeah. So you could have just said, are you guys bringing back Dillon Brooks? Hey, he's a great player, so we're going to look into it. And just and within the front office, no, we're not signing back Dillon Brooks. You didn't have to come out with that announcement because now all it did is kind of over and hurt his value. Thankfully, a team saw into him and saw his potential. He goes to Houston, who pays him, has a great run there and helps kind of reset that culture and give them toughness. They loved him down there. They did not want to let him go, but they let him go because they're getting Kevin Durant. So then he goes to Phoenix. This guy's been traded. even outcasted by a team. We're not bringing you back. He goes from being this guy that people think is funny and entertaining to be a guy that people hate on. He sucks. Dillon Brooks, go to China, go to Shanghai. The Dillon Brooks in China memes, all this stuff. All they do is talk about him being a distraction, can't play, bum, blah, 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 blah. What does he do? He doesn't change for shit. He stays the same way. Because what people have to eventually respect, as much as they didn't like him, whatever side you're on, people respect consistency. He don't shy away from nobody. He goes at LeBron. He'll go at this. He goes at all the best guys. He don't shy away from nobody. He plays damn near every game. He competes and he plays his heart out. If you're a fan paying $200 for some damn tickets and you lose, you can lose as a Suns fan knowing that when you watch, even though they're not a finals contending team this year, when you watch like guys like Gillespie or you watch a Dillon Brooks go out there and they're playing their ass off as hard as they can, you can leave the arena like those guys tried their tails to go get a win for us tonight. I can't even be mad at that. Not to mention, most importantly, above all this, he's balling. His play has just gotten better and better and better. Where now he's a 20-plus point per game scorer, and he's helping closing out games, hitting big shots, and doing it on both ends while guarding the best player of the other team. He's a two-way player with Devin Booker. It's worked out. Their culture, it's worked. So at some point, that he is a culture starter. He was with Memphis. He left. Their culture sucked. He went to Houston. It was great. And he's in Phoenix, and now he's great. So now it's so funny, the irony of the Lakers looking into trading for him, if that's true, is he's only gotten into it with LeBron and all that shit, but yet they want him. Oh, now they want him.
Well, that was a big Kobe thing, too. Kobe used to get into it with, like, Ron Artest. And then I remember, I think it was, like, Steve Blake got into it. But he would bring these guys on
Matt
later
Barnes.
on. Like, the people he gets into it with, he's like, almost like I respect it, bring him in.
Matt Barnes did the fake ball thing, and then like a year later was on his team. A couple years later was on his team. So like, yes, that's a thing. So it's like, probably LeBron has some respect for. I mean, remember we talked about this a couple pods ago. I was like, there's no way LeBron has respect for Dillon. Now, does he think his antics and that shit is all silly? I'm sure, because it's always at his expense. But I know he respects when they play Phoenix. He's like, I gotta come play tonight because this little is gonna be on bullshit. You know what it is with him. He stares at the other team's best player or whatever he's staring at. It's every game he's locked in. So that's something I can get behind. And now people have gotten around to that. Like, he is consistent. He does play hard. He has gotten better. He actually does put up numbers. Wait, this guy is really good. I don't know if I can hate him anymore. He's actually he's a good player. He's entertaining to watch. He's fun to watch. So the arc has like went from being this guy who got kicked off a team who the whole internet hated to being a guy that the internet counts on and they love him. And now he's a good player and has the respect. And people in the league are like, oh, wait. He's a culture changer.
I mean, I'm a Magic fan. I'd bring him in.
That's the point. That's the point. And now 3 years ago, if I would have said, you want to bring Dillon Brooks in, you'd be like, no, we're good. He can stay over there. Remember. Now he's a guy that teams who don't have like a certain set, tough culture, they'd be like, we'll bring him in. We'll take Dillon Brooks.
Is that what our guy Vooch is doing for Chicago right now? Listen, they're 7-3 in their last 10, but every time someone tries to score at the end of a game, he gets in their face.
Vooch is the law.
I cannot wait. Bro, we're gonna get him on the pod. I just want to be like, "What's up, man? What are you mad?"
Next time I'm in Chicago, I'm gonna check in.
What are you really mad about? It can't be about people scoring at the end of the game. Like, what the NBA police? Man. It's too funny. I want to say the Suns are 21-14. It's funny what expectation can do, because if they had like KD and Bradley Beal and they were 21-14, I'd be like, I don't know, it's not working out. They're 21-14 with this team, and I'm like, feels good. I like it.
Yeah, they got something at least that's fun to watch. And they are competitive. Do I see them winning a championship? No, obviously not. But they're a team that like they can go to the playoffs and like start trouble with somebody. And like they're not a bunch of pushovers. They got some good basketball players, some tough guys. And they got guys who can close the game. So they're not an easy out. And it's something to like at least have a nucleus to where, okay, now we can see what works and let's go from here. People thought we were lost in the water. Matt Ishby was like, we're not. We're actually afloat. We're doing well. Let's build from here. Yeah. So you got to give them credit. You got to give them credit for that.
Before we wrap, you're obviously covering the Nuggets-Sixers game tonight. There's been a lot of talk about Jokic's injury and if they should change the 65-game rule. people didn't have a problem with the 65-game rule until Jokic got injured, and now he can't win MVP once he misses enough games. Do you
Yeah,
like the
it's
rule? Did you like
always
the rule? Where do you stand on that rule?
a rule always makes sense until an extreme situation pushes its boundary. So it's like this rules always make sense because it's like, hey, if you want to win MVP, you got to play a lot of games. People are like, yeah, no, I agree with that. Yeah, every superstar should have to play. Love it. Great. It forces them to play. Well, now you got one that's like by and large dominating, and he's just for sure going to be an MVP. But now if he misses one more game more than 65, he doesn't get it. So now people are like, that's not fair. So it's like, what are we going to do? You either live with the rule or we don't live with the rule. Because if you take away from the rule, now you're going to have, I don't know what's going to happen. So, hopefully, let's just say for this season, since the rule's not going to be changed within the next month or two, let's hope that he can get back and healthy as soon as possible because this is an MVP season for Nikola Jokic, and he will be raising that trophy above his head if he can obviously play 65 or more games. So,
And if he doesn't, it's going to SGA?
It's going to go right back to Buddy. It's going right back to the slithery little slipper. He's going to get it again, man. He's going to get it again. If he wins MVP again, everyone's just like,
what? Do you think
it's how I feel about the Nash MVPs. I don't like them.
Really?
And I love Steve Nash. He's a NBA legend.
But you can't compare the SGA MVPs to the Nash MVPs.
I'm not. No. I'm not talking about last year. I'm talking about if he wins this year. If he wins this year, it's one of those MVPs. I'm like, you shouldn't have that.
It's because it's 2 years in a row. Jokic had the craziest stats of all time, and then he won it.
He has to win it this year. He's by far. He's won the MVP. We still got 40 games left. People are already giving him the MVP. Call it. What are you talking about? It's just gotten more and more just obnoxious. His efficiency is just obnoxious.
Where are you? We're talking about rules. Where are you on the? You have to be 1 year removed from high school to be in the NBA. Would you like to see the straight from high school to the NBA?
Yes. Come on.
Quit also, you think the NBA is too young now? Could you imagine? Get these 18-year-olds in there?
If they're that good, let's get them in there because I don't want to see this bullshit in college anymore anyway. Half these guys are going to college. I don't know what the I'm looking at. They're either playing or you're having like Cooper Flag, AJ DeBancha years, or like they sit out every other game and it's just weird. I don't want to see it anymore. Not to mention these guys are transferring. You got guys now getting drafted going back to college. What the hell is going on? If you're that good,
like you said, you think okay, you obviously you're a Mikal Brown.
You know why? Can I?
He would have been drafted this year and he'd be in the NBA. Maybe on a team.
No, he would have got drafted. No.
Oh, he would have got drafted.
At the end of the
people love the. Come on, you drafted these guys straight out of high school. I'm taking them.
No, you're wrong. You're wrong.
Really?
I think you're wrong. I
don't think you remember how bad it was getting when these guys were coming straight out of high school. People were just like. In the second round,
yes, but Mikal was a late bloomer. Mikal blew up after USA basketball. His senior year.
I would have thought a team that would have taken this 18-year-old.
Yeah, but as a kid, why would you go to Louisville and make $4 million and be a top 10 pick next year? So going straight to high school will always be the reason it's okay is because the top guys, they're already ready. It only makes sense now. If a guy wants to be Mikal Brown. You want to go be a JR, some of these guys who went out of high school but were like the 30th pick, 50, second round pick. That's your choice.
Yeah.
But most of these guys who are like Mikal Brown, like, if you go to Louisville, you're not going to be a late first round pick or a second round pick out of high school. You're going to get paid $4 million to come here, and you're going to end up being a lottery pick in the draft. And it's removing some of the guys.
The money thing does change because back in the day, players were just they're like, well, why would I go to college? Now NIL's in place.
Yeah, with NIL. And if guys can go out of high school, it's going to take some of these guys off the top out of it. Instead of Mikal being the 7th pick in the draft, Mikal be number 3rd pick in the draft. You want to know why? AJ's in the league already. Cam Booster's in the league already. De'Aaron Peterson. Those 3 are gone. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Some of these other dudes, that's what I'm saying. People are always going to do what's best for them at the end of the day. So now that you can make money in college, guys will go to college. Especially if you're talking about being a second-round pick out of high school versus a top 10. What the hell are we talking about?
So not this draft, right? But the draft where Reese Shea went number 1, right? That whole draft, I think on a weaker draft like that would have a lot of guys from high school would have came in. They would have drafted a lot of guys from high school. They'd be like, okay, none of these college guys are that good. I might as well go get this high. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you got to be a senior in high school. Yeah, it would have been Cooper and who?
Would VJ have been drafted out of high school?
Again,
he was playing for Bahamas and it looked good.
Yeah, he would have been a late first round pick, but they would have told VJ, go to college and you'll be a top 5 pick and you'll make millions. They're going to college to be a high pick. There's a difference between being top 5 and being like late first round, early second round. You know what I'm saying? Like, so now guys like Cooper, they're gone anyway.
The rule removed. You want to see these guys go straight out of high school?
Yes. The top guys are gone. The top guys are ready anyway. The top ones. The guys who are going to go, the guys who they want from high school to be a top 2, 3 pick, man, them dudes are ready to play now. Okay? You know what I mean? Like, remember, Cooper Flagg was a year early anyway. Cooper Flagg should be a freshman right now.
Yeah.
So exactly. He was ready then. These guys averaging 18 in the league right now. They're
crazy. Tonka Nipple would not have been drafted and then end up being the 4th pick.
No, he went up. And that's why college is still very important.
Yeah.
People knew Caleb Wilson was good. Caleb Wilson went to college and just started dominating even more. Now he's for sure top 2, 3. You know what I'm saying? So college is still needed for the fringe guys. But the De'Aaron Petersons, the AJ DeBanches, dog. AJ DeBanches got paid $9 million to go to BYU this year. My boy, get him in the league already. Enough of this circus that we call college basketball. I'm just not for it. It's a mess.
Are we gonna wrap?
Anyways, I'm gonna wrap it up, man. Got a game tonight. Appreciate everybody checking in, man. We'll be back later in the week. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow us on Instagram and TikTok, the Off Guard Podcast. You can check us out also on YouTube. All the links are in our bios, Instagram and whatnot. We'll be posting the links out. You guys have a safe week, and me and Pausha will be back later in the week. Y'all be easy.